Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Stacy Raine.
And today we are going to meet a Long Islander that has recently been making a name for herself as Ali the Anthem Girl. Her real name is Ali Berke, and she's a singer and songwriter from Oceanside right here in Nassau County. And she has a goal to sing at every sports stadium.
I understand that, Ali, you recently had the opportunity to perform the National Anthem before the New York Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, and you've also performed at Citi Field and a bunch of other stadiums. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Ali, we are so excited to have you, and welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you for having me.
Ali, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, we're already off to a great start. I'm impressed.
Yeah, so I'm a singer-songwriter from Long Island, obviously, and I've been singing professionally for about 10 years, and then around this time last year, we decided to kind of do something on the side to talk about, like, doing anthems and traveling and things like that. So we started off last summer doing the Red Sox in Boston. And then once I kind of did that, I was kind of like, this is fun. So let's see how many that we can do, because I have done a bunch also when I was younger, but I didn't really have the same goal in mind. And now this summer alone, I have 9 of them that I'm going to be doing. So after September, I think I'll have 14 out of 30 done.
14 out of 30 stadiums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask your age? Because when you said 10 years, you look so young. And I mean, that complimentary. Can we ask your age?
I'm 23.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
That's even older than I thought. So
Yeah.
10 years starting at 13.
Yeah.
You've worked your whole career.
Oh, sorry, Bill. And you said we decided. Who's we?
I guess me, my producer, my dad, they're a very big part of, my whole journey and my whole career. So I kind of was just when I got the idea brought to me, I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. And we've kind of just been on this journey ever since to just, keep going with them.
Yeah. And your dad, is he your manager? Is that right? Did I read that
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. My husband would be so excited to know that you were at the Red Sox Stadium. That's one of his favorites. So how did you get that?
So a lot of them are kind of just auditions and submitting demos. I think that was honestly, it's been so long, honestly. So much can happen in a year. But I think that was honestly one of the ones that we sent a demo, and they just wrote back and they were like, hey, do you want to come sing the anthem August 26th?
Wow.
Which is when I did it last year. So that's kind of how they all happened. I remember when I got Citi Field, I woke up one day and my dad was like, you're never going to believe, Citi Field wants you to perform next week. So it comes very sporadic, or it's kind of far out. So It's always different.
The National Anthem is not an easy song to sing. So when you're on, at the Red Sox Stadium or on Citi Field, are you nervous?
I think it kind of has become second nature to me now. I think that I've done it so many times. When I was first starting off doing it, I definitely was very nervous, but I've practiced so much, and I've done it so many times now where I can finally say that I'm pretty confident in my performance. Obviously, different temperatures, different areas will throw different things at you, obviously, and your voice is something that's very sensitive in the sense of you won't feel 100% every day, but I think for the most part I feel very, very confident in all of them, and I don't really get as nervous as I usually do. I get more anxious because I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now, whose idea was it to go out to all these stadiums once you started? That must have been, if I wrote to a stadium and said, hey, I'd like to sing the National Anthem, they'd go out in a field of potatoes and sing it. But who got this started for you?
My dad. Yeah, it was his idea. So he's been the one sending the demos to all the stadiums and stuff and finding the right people to contact.
Because that seems like a lot of work to me anyway.
Oh,
to
yeah.
find the right person and the one who has the right influence, and sometimes might not be who you think. And,
for sure. He does a lot of the legwork.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Are you a big sports fan?
So, yes and no. I feel I have to say that I kind of am. But honestly, I really do enjoy, hockey and basketball more. And I would love to be able to sing for hockey games one day. I like baseball. I've grew up around baseball my whole life. But I think it's just something that, if it was, it's not my first choice of sport to watch, but obviously I'm like super thankful and grateful that all these teams are inviting me to sing.
Yeah.
And I get to stay for the game, which is cool.
Well, I love baseball, so from now on, I'll be thinking, is Ali singing this one? I'm going to start checking it off, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you could sing before any event, if someone just gave you the lotto ticket of life, you could sing the national anthem or starting song before any event. Is there one that's in your book that's the event I want to be at?
I feel like the Super Bowl.
Ooh, good one, yes.
Ooh, way to set your sights.
Yeah.
I like that. I would be so excited at the first Super Bowl I see when you are on it.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
I'm going to say she was on WHPC.
That's right. And we interviewed her.
And we interviewed her. So I was looking on Spotify last night, and I saw that you have some songs on there. I was listening to them and totally enjoying them. So I heard you write them.
Yes, I write all my own songs.
Tell me about, is there one in particular that's really meaningful to you that you'd love to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of them are super meaningful to me. I think, I always say that every song that I write is a story, and I feel like all of my songs are kind of like my journal entries, it's kind of like things that I've experienced, things that I've gone through in my life. But I definitely think that they're all super relatable, and I think they each have kind of like their own story and their own meaning. I think one of them that is kind of cool is my last song called Figure It Out. I released that back in the fall. And it's kind of just about like when you meet somebody and you want it to work out so badly, but you're also scared that like you're going to get hurt. And it's actually about like me and my current boyfriend now from the beginning. We're together now.
Yeah.
But it was just a crazy, crazy experience writing that song because it was literally like what I went through. And I was like, yay, like you're so fun, but like, no, I'm good, but then eventually we figured it out. So it was kind of just saying like, give me a minute, give me some time to just literally figure it out.
Ali, you hear that like movie stars and theatrical people, sometimes they, at the beginning of when they became famous or in their life, they were either worked as an usher or a waitress or some type of job where they could move around a little bit. And especially if they got the opportunity, they could take a few nights off to do their comedy routine. Is that part of your life, or do you strictly write songs and perform the national anthem, or what do you do day by day?
Yeah, no, I actually have two jobs in between all of this, so it's kind of crazy life, just kind of juggling everything. I work in the food industry, and then I also am a nanny for kids, so it's definitely good, flexible hours for sure, but definitely exhausting and long days.
I would think compared to being a nanny, you could sing a song anywhere in front of any crowd, Super Bowl or Olympics or anything.
Yeah.
Well, now I need to know, because I have 3 little kids. What is your favorite song that you sing them?
They don't always ask me to sing songs. They're 5 and 10, so they're like kind of like tough ages.
They've grown out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I bet
they were interested in the beginning. Now they're like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, did you show them the video of you on Madison Square Garden? And you're like, look at me.
I actually didn't show them. Their parents showed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been. So, I mean, does it really get any bigger than that? Like, what's I know it's Super Bowl. You already said that.
Super Bowl.
We're going there. That's next, right? So what are, do you want to go on tour someday? Like, what are some of your other goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the anthem stuff is great, and I'm really enjoying it, and being able to travel everywhere and singing in front of thousands of people is, unmatched, basically. But I definitely have, like, bigger goals as far as, like, my original music, and I kind of want to get back on tour and performing and releasing a lot more music. I've kind of just been, like, focusing on the anthems lately, which is fine, but I think come this summer, I think I'll be able to focus a lot more on performing and releasing more music.
Well, you're eventually going to reach this goal of singing in all these stadiums.
Yeah.
So you always have to have something next, right? It sounds like you're a girl who
absolutely.
definitely has something next.
Ali, it sounds so glamorous when someone uses the word tour. You're on tour. But I think in a way that's tough. You're changing your lifestyle. You're living, I'm going to say, probably out of a box or a motel room, going to different venues. Maybe you get there at night and say, oh, this isn't the outfit I wanted, or the lighting is wrong, or they don't have the right music.
Yeah.
So tell us some of your adventures. What goes on and what's it really like?
Wow. Yeah, I've had some really tough venues. I've had some tough travel situations. I mean, even like this past weekend, like for the anthems, I was flying to Arizona Friday. I sang Saturday, flew to Oakland Sunday morning, sang in Oakland Sunday afternoon, and then came home yesterday.
Wow.
So that was like really, really crazy. But yeah, it's just so much traveling. I feel like there's just so much room for error sometimes.
That's what I was thinking. That's a tight flight schedule.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error. Thank gosh, like nothing went wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I've had situations where like the venues are just like, the sound person is just not with it. The music stops mid-performance. The lights go out. It's always something, honestly. But, you know, you kind of just put your best foot forward. The show must go on. So, you know, it's always something to, like, look back at. And, you know, you laugh about it now in the moment. Definitely not laughing. But, yeah, they're all experiences you grow from. So I think that's pretty cool.
You have a great attitude toward it, which I'm sure that helps because something's going to happen, whether it's the doctor, the teacher, something goes wrong, and either go with it, it's not going to change, so you better go with it.
That's so true.
You are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Stacy Raine here with Bill Horan, and today we are talking with Ali, the Anthem Girl. Her real name is Ali Berke, and she is a singer and songwriter from Oceanside, right here in Nassau County. And she has a goal to sing at every sports stadium, and she recently performed at a New York Knicks game at Madison Square Garden.
That's Madison Square Garden, you know, is considered the arena of the world.
Yeah.
Whether we're right or not, we're in New York, so our arena is the best. Does that give you any little nerves going in, like an exam or something?
Oh, I've never been more nervous for anything in my life.
Okay.
Like, for sure. I don't even remember half that day, honestly.
Yeah.
I was probably just blacked out from so many nerves. I remember, like, right before, like, when I was doing sound check, my hand was, like, shaking with the microphone. And, of course, like, that weekend, I remember I woke up, like, not feeling great.
Oh, obviously.
And I was like, of course that would happen, you know? So, you know, you kind of expect that because I just feel like that's how the world works. But you know what? Like, it was such a great experience. Everybody there was so great and so nice and so organized. You know, I think that's something that's so important when you go to an event. No matter if you're like singing at a bar, if you're singing at Madison Square Garden, wherever, if the people there are not organized, it makes the artist so stressed out because it's like I'm already stressed about like singing and like making sure I don't mess up. But now I'm also worrying about like your job and like making sure you don't mess up, you know? So they were really like such a great team of people. And it overall was like such a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm so thankful that I got to do that, and you know, hopefully there'll be more.
I have a question. How do you warm up? Like, what do you do? I know vocal cords are a very, you know, sensitive thing. So what do you do to warm up your vocals? Do you drink something in particular or do specific warm-ups?
Yeah, so I do like a very like specific routine, usually for like 2 days before. I don't have any dairy.
Oh.
Just because it usually causes a lot of irritation to the throat, at least for me. And I try to avoid anything spicy. The day of, we'll have a lot of honey, a lot of water, black tea with honey, never lemon, too acidic. And yeah, it's very bland diet. You know, especially like when I do the anthems over a weekend, it's very like depressing, you know, like I want to go and have like a celebratory like ice cream, and I'm like, I can't have that, you know? So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just sit here with my wrap with no mayo on it. Like,
well, now I'm starting to understand these very specific riders that artists do for green rooms when they're like, I will have none of, you know, X, Y, and Z. Well, maybe it's because they're vocal cords. Who knows?
yeah, some of them are like ridiculous though. They're like, oh, I'll have M&Ms, but like only the green ones. Like, that's not affecting you.
Yeah. But when they ask for a certain temperature water, it's, you know, that's a reasonable request when we're talking about vocal cords.
Yeah, I don't have cold water.
Yeah.
It can only be room temperature.
It restricts it does restrict them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ali, when you go to a game, and this is what's coming to my mind now, after you sing the anthem, are you given a ticket to the game, or can you watch it? Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they said, thanks, goodbye, here's your hat.
No, they're all really, really great. They all give tickets, and they're all like usually like super great seats, and you know, you make a day out of it. It's like super fun.
Yeah.
So.
And do you have people coming up to you saying, wow, your voice?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like when you walk off the field, usually like you'll get like 100 people being like, great job, great job, great job. You know, it's like overwhelming. Especially like at the Garden, I was like walking like right past Celebrity Row, and I'm like, oh, like,
cool.
Yeah, it was
nice.
very, very crazy.
I'm just with another personal question. You're walking by and you see someone who is your idol, Pete Alonso or Aaron Judge or somebody, and you want to walk over there. Have you ever been able to get a picture with them or stop, or did they say, come on over?
You know, honestly, like I've never tried. I also just like would be too nervous to do that. I'm kind of just like that person that's like just stays within the lines of what I need to do.
Right.
So, you know, if somebody like came over and like asked for a picture, of course, like I'd be like, yeah, sure.
And
But
if Taylor Swift came over and said,
my
you were
God.
really good. Could I have a picture with you, Ali? Would you let her take
I'd
a
be like, can I have a picture with you?
Well, Taylor, if you're listening, when you see Ali at the next game, make sure to go
Right.
get a picture with her.
That's right. That's right.
So speaking of Taylor, who are some of your biggest musical influences?
I would have to say Adele is my biggest musical
Oh, I
influence.
love her.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's my absolute favorite.
So Adele, if you're listening, make sure when you see Ali at a game, you gotta get a
I
picture
know.
together.
Adele, just track me down, please.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to meet you once
Do you see
in
how
my
hard
life.
we're working for you here? We're
Yeah.
trying to get you all kinds of stars.
I know, I'm
and Taylor
excited.
Swift.
You're making all these connections for me.
You,
Yeah.
You'll probably be starting for her the next time
Oh
she
my
does
gosh,
an
I
act.
hope so,
you'll be
man.
set up there.
So Adele writes a lot of her own songs, and so do you. Do you have a songwriting process? You said it was your journal. Is it just kind of? Do you have a
It's
journal?
honestly so different for every song. I've written songs like right on the spot, like sitting on a microphone. I've written songs in a notebook. I've written songs in my notepad on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's sometimes where I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm saying, but this would be a good song. So I think it's like super different for each song for sure, because, you know, I'm trying to get a different point across every single time. So I think that it's one of those things where I'm either like super sad, like writing a song, and I'm like like completely like putting out all my feelings, or if it's like a feel good, happy song, I have to like kind of think about it a little bit more to like make it something like very relatable for people to like want to put on.
Well, Bill, let's hope that if she writes a song about us, it's a happy, feel good song and not an
True.
angsty,
Yeah, please do that.
terrible
Remember,
interview song.
We made you feel good. I hope we're in that category.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering, thinking about songwriting, do you ever have periods where you're like, I haven't thought of a song in forever? Do you have moments of no inspiration, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think writer's block is a very, very real thing. And I think, it really just goes based on events in your life and where you're at in your personal life, for me at least. I definitely go through like phases or periods of my life where I'm kind of just like same thing every day. And I'm not really inspired by anything. But then I feel like once I catch myself getting like that, I like turn on a switch and I'm like, something has to connect here to write a song.
Are there any places or activities? I've had guests tell me that the two places where we get the most inspiration is long walks and the shower. And I'm just wondering if you've had any experiences, whether like being near flowers or other musicians or other people that are creative.
I think I get a lot of my inspiration in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, listening to music in the car. The shower is definitely a good one. Yeah, I think just late at night sometimes. If I'm just like sitting in bed, I'm just like, like that'd be a
Yeah.
good song.
Do you get up and write it down or dictate it quickly?
I'll dictate it into my phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and had to grab your phone because a song just came to you?
Like I've woken up in the middle of the night before and like had this like melody in my head, and I'm like, I'll remember it in the morning because I'm too lazy to grab my phone. Never remember it.
That's well.
I know. I'm like half asleep too.
Yeah. Hopefully tonight it comes right back to you.
Right.
So you've done a lot of live performances at this point. Is there one? I mean, obviously Madison Square Garden is going to stick out.
Yeah,
But is there
for
one in
sure.
particular that sticks out to you as you think back over all the things you've done over the last few years?
Yeah, there's so many. I think that when I got to open for AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys, that was so cool. I did that almost 2 years ago, and that was just such a great show. I had so many of my friends and family there supporting me, and it kind of just is like a really like cool moment to be like, I opened for one of the Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
And it was a great show. It was a great lineup. Everybody was great. It was just a great feel-good performance, and that one will always stick with me.
Right.
When you travel, do you travel with an entourage? And by that, I mean, is it just you? Or you said, I think your dad is your agent, or is there a group of people traveling
Yeah,
with you?
usually like when I'm traveling for the anthems, it'll be my dad and my boyfriend and me.
Does the venue pay for your stay at a place, or is that up to
No, I don't get paid for any of the anthems. They don't pay for anything. No.
Yeah.
It's all on your own dime.
you? Millions of dollars for the athletes, but they don't pay you for
Correct, yeah.
a few chicken nuggets or something like that? No, not even that.
Madison Square Garden did give me a food voucher.
They did?
Yeah,
okay.
They did.
And
yeah.
she gets tickets to some good games. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I have
fair
to
enough.
say, it kind of does. I mean, it doesn't balance out for like the travel and like the flights and everything, but it's cool that at least I get to go to the game.
Yeah.
You know, for like a Knicks game, it's saving me like, you know, $400 or $500. So
You said that you have been performing and writing music for 10 years, that's a long time. And
Yeah.
you're still very young, but I'm curious, has your music evolved as you've grown older?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that, you know, the first song that I ever released was about growing up and, like, you might not find, you know, your path right now, but eventually you will. And I think for even, like, a 13-year-old to write that I look back at that and I'm like, why did I even write about that? Like, what was so hard for me at 13, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like, as I experienced different things, like, growing up and, you know, growing into who I am as a person and experiencing different relationships and different friends and all different kinds of paths in life, I think that it's, like, no choice but to evolve because, you know, your life changes by the day, you know? So
Yeah.
it's definitely more mature. I love the way that I'm, you know, pursuing this path right now of this kind of, like, poppy, like, I guess, like, summery pop feel, definitely, for, like, these next, like, few songs coming up. So I want to kind of keep it in that realm, and then once we get back to the fall, we'll, like, bring it back down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Stacy Raine, here with Bill Horan, and today we are talking with Ali the Anthem Girl. Her real name is Ali Berke, and she is a singer and songwriter from Oceanside, right here in Nassau County. She has a goal to sing at every sports stadium and recently performed before a New York Knicks game at Madison Square Garden. Now, we would love to play one of your songs. So is there one in particular that you think we should play that maybe has that pop feel, or what's your favorite right now?
My favorite right now, I think, is my song called Loud.
Here it is.
How are we sitting together, but I feel like I'm alone? Not even talking to each other, we're both looking at our phones. Going crazy. So we take a break from the fight and then we get lost in the silence. The silence is too damn loud. The silence is too damn loud. The silence is too damn loud to hear us. We only know what we're saying. It's been enough with all this playing. It's just us.
just amazes me. First of all, that was beautiful hearing that.
Thank you.
And what you can do. And obviously not the national anthem. So that was a real creativity.
Not
by
the
you.
national anthem. Yeah.
Now, your old high school, do they have you back for career night or have you gone back there?
No.
No?
Well, honestly, yeah, no.
You better
I've
tell
never
them.
been.
They better
I
wake
know,
up.
right?
How many
I should do
anthem
that.
singers do they have in their history?
Probably none.
Probably none. Exactly right. No, I would just think that's fascinating. If someone wants to get into show business, that you could give them the tip that you've
Yeah,
experienced.
maybe I should hit them up. Oceanside High School, if you're listening, hit me up.
There you go, Oceanside.
So what advice would you give? There's probably lots of young people that are thinking, I really want to get into the music industry. And it's not an easy industry.
No, it's probably the worst.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a singer and songwriter right now that's, maybe where you were 8-9 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think I get this question asked so much, and I have the same answer all the time. It's just to never give up. I think that's, the hardest thing is that you have 1,000,001 reasons why you want to give up throughout the journey, and you have like 10 reasons to keep going, I feel like. So I think it's really, really easy to kind of fall into that path of like, I just can't do this anymore. Because you will be discouraged. You'll get told no. You'll have 1,000,000 doors slammed in your face. You'll get made fun of. You'll get hate. You'll get this. You'll get that, But, at the end of the day, like, if it's something that you really love and, like, you want to pursue, you just can't give up on it. And I think that there's so many people out there right now that are really trying to do this. And, I think that it's great. I think there's so many people in the world that have so much talent that we don't even know about. So I think that, for me, for another upcoming artist, like, if you could just keep persevering through it, like, you could never say that, I wish I didn't give up or regret anything.
Yeah. And I know you have, you're on social media, so people can reach out to you directly there. And I'm sure you give lots of fun and advice there too, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. For sure.
So how do you use your social media to connect with your audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think I use Instagram the most for sure, but I'm always replying to comments. I'm replying to DMs. People tag me in their stories if they're listening, which I love. I think that's so nice. And I'll repost. I always connect with people. I love to connect and just to know that somebody's listening to my song makes my day, So definitely, reach out to me on Instagram, follow me, and, we can connect further from there, or TikTok, which I don't. It's hard to connect with people on TikTok. I can respond to a comment, but I feel like Instagram is way more personable.
Yeah. Well, how do they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Ali Berke Official, or you can find me at Ali the Anthem Girl.
Ali, we want to thank you for being with us today. And if our audience didn't already hear it, our guest today has been Ali the Anthem Girl, a.k.a. Ali Berke, a singer and songwriter from Oceanside who has a goal to sing at every sports stadium. Thanks so much for you to take time out of your daily schedule to be with us, teach us about the background of sports singing and songwriting and what you have to go through.
Yeah.
And it's been great. We hope you're going to come back to us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Stacy Raine. We want to thank you for listening to this week's episode of My Hometown.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC@ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.